Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Hodge, and I am the elected chief of the Tennessee Ghostbusters East Division.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, Deputy Chief of the Tennessee Ghostbusters East Division.
That goes about 16 or 17 years back for me. There was a costume contest at a Star Trek convention being held in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I went to that contest, and rather than doing things that I had seen before, I said to myself I was going to prepare in advance and do something they had never seen before. So I built my first ever proton pack with plans I found from the internet. Put together a jumpsuit which wasn't the right color, but it had the right no ghost patch on it. So people definitely recognized what it was. The proton pack was barely passable, but I ended up taking second place in the costume contest, so that was always fun. So that was the start of a bug that grew into something a lot bigger of what I'm doing today.
Well, it started up last year, right before Booth the Zoo. My son and I decided to become Ghostbusters.
The Tennessee Ghostbusters is a fan organization that is centered out of Nashville, Tennessee. And I met the guys when I went to a comic convention that is held in Nashville. Had no clue that they existed. I just happened to go there to meet a few celebrities, and I went in this costume. I had by then built a much more screen accurate proton pack. I had the proper patches. Aside from this, I didn't have my name. I had Egon Spengler's name tag, which I did that because I was just paying homage to a fan or to an actor. So anyway, I went to that event, met the guys. They were super accepting of a total stranger who just happened to show up in Ghostbuster attire. And they later invited me to be a part of their organization, even though I lived on the other side of the state. So that is where my exposure to the Tennessee Ghostbusters began.
I met a wonderful fellow named Paul Hodge. He was the lone Ghostbuster, so to speak, in Knoxville, and we decided to join up together and do some Ghostbusting activities in the Knoxville area.
At that event, I saw that these guys were not just in costume. They were raising money for Children's Hospital. They were doing charity work there. And I thought it was a great concept to take costuming for something that you enjoy and turning it into a good cause for other people. I loved that aspect of it. I thought that was something that we just don't have enough of in this world. So it definitely intrigued me, and I said I definitely want to be a part of that.
Anytime a group of people as great as the ones that we have get together to do benefits for children's charities and just get out and have some fun, I'm all for it.
Well, I talked about the first pack that I made, which wasn't so hot. I then, as I said, had built a more screen accurate pack. Um, that was 5 or 6 years ago, and I can't really keep track of the time anymore. As you get older, you lose track of time. But I had spent a year, just about a year, building on this pack in my garage. The whole plan was to do it as a surprise for Halloween, for a Halloween costume, because Halloween has always been my favorite holiday, and I wanted to do something that just shocked and amazed everyone. And this pack is screen accurate, and it looks great, and it is definitely well received and a fan draw. So that is when I built my first pack and my current pack.
Well, the first proton pack, or my Mark 1, I guess you would say, was built right before Booth the Zoo.
If we're talking Ghostbusters, I have to say probably Egon is my favorite. It's a lot of people's favorite. Harold Ramis brought a life to the role that I don't think anyone else could have. He's definitely my favorite Ghostbuster. If we're talking non-Ghostbuster characters, I have to say I really loved the Terror Dogs. The creatures that the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper turned into in the first movie. And I think it's a character they have not done enough with afterwards. Obviously, the second movie went a different direction. You're not going to have Terror Dogs there, but I was really disappointed they didn't have Terror Dogs in the video game. It would have been fun to bust some Terror Dogs.
I would have to say Ray Stantz is my favorite character.
Touched on that already, but I'll expand on it. Being the only person who was here in the Knoxville area for a good amount of time, it was hard to kind of generate, sorry, that's my own Terror Dog, to generate a lot of charity work because it was one person. Through attending conventions here locally, I met a few other rabid fans, such as myself, and you'll see videos from them in upcoming posts. And we all just got together and said, you know, let's do this. Let's do our own chapter here locally and do some good. They were all of the same mindset of myself and the folks from Nashville, that doing this for a better cause is the way to go. So that is what got us started here locally.
Well, me and Paul had discussed if there were any other Ghostbusters in the area, and decided that we would create the East Division to gather up Ghostbusters from this area and work with the Nashville chapter so that we could just enjoy it and be all organized.
I covered that already. Been with Tennessee Ghostbusters about 5 or 6 years, and been with the East Division since its starting day.
About the same amount of time as I've been a Ghostbuster. I really didn't have any time to freelance on my own, so a little over a year now.
That's a hard sell as well. Everybody loves a proton pack. Everybody wanted a proton pack as a kid. I love the pack. I love the PKE meter, the traps, pretty much all the equipment. I don't really have a favorite. If you really were to pin me down, I would say I like the video game packs because it entails a lot of different technology. It adds a slime blower, a Meson collider, all in one pack. So I thought that was a pretty cool add-on, and I'd like to do that with my own pack one day.
That would be this beast right here, the Ecto-1. We have thoroughly enjoyed building it, and always get a great reaction going down the interstate or just on any little road that we can find. It's always turns into a great event.
I have two favorite parts. One, I've talked about a little bit, the charity work, being able to do something and give back. We don't have enough of that in this world. My second favorite part is the interaction with fans. Adult fans who see us at conventions or charity events, or even just when we stop to put gas in the car. The looks on their faces, the smiles, that's always fun. The young kids who know us and love us. I wouldn't expect young kids to know who we are. This movie came out in 1984. It hasn't had a real presence in mainstream media until just this year when the new film came out. So it's always very enlightening to see that this film and this fandom still carries on today. It's impressive, really, and it shows that good comedy and good adventure lasts. It has staying power.
Seeing the smiles on kids' faces and adults alike, we really enjoy that. It brings happiness to me that I cannot even describe. And the last question is, who are you going to call? And that would be us, the Tennessee Ghostbusters East Division.
So the final question I'm asked is one that has been asked pretty much of every Ghostbuster fan, and that's who you're going to call. And I've always said that when there's something strange in your neighborhood, you should call He-Man.